Please stand if you choose.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hope y'all had a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Let us go to the Lord in prayer. Father in heaven, I thank you, Lord, for this day. I thank you for keeping us safe, Lord. Thank you, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, for all that you're doing for us, Heavenly Father. And dear Lord, I lift this board up before you tonight, God. Lord, that we get things straight, Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus. That we do nothing outside of what you want, in the name of Jesus. I ask, Lord, that you bless our police force, our firefighters, in the name of Jesus. Keep them safe, keep their families safe, God, and all the board members and their families, Lord, in the name of Jesus. Lord, I just give you praise and I give you thanks for what you're doing in our lives. God, I thank you and I praise you. In Jesus' name, and everybody say, Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. All right, I'll now call for any additions or deletions to the agenda. Alderman Cooper.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to add, the Christmas tree lighting for 2023, discussion to the agenda.
Awesome, we will add that as new business item B. If there are no other additions or deletions, I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Alderman Palacio.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the amended change.
Alderwoman Thompson.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. We will now move on to the approval of the consent items, the draft minutes of September 25th, 2023 work session minutes, the Military and Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee application for Aubrey Davis, and the Military and Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee application for Irene Rosa. I now entertain a motion. Alderman Palacios.
So moved.
Alderman Lackman.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Alderman Lackman.
Mayor, I would like to point out here that on Aubrey Davis, there was one change that needed to be corrected. He has been notified, he is making that change, and it was just listed that he was a Cumberland County or Spring Lake resident, and that is being corrected and amended, but that will not change the information here. He's correcting that and bringing that forward.
And so I just want to also note that we do have Spring Lake in Harnett County, so he could be, he's still a Spring Lake resident, he's just not Spring Lake, Cumberland County in our incorporated tax district type resident. So we're going to make that distinction, but we're going to go ahead with the approval of the application. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. We will now move on to our public comments. And we will begin with Mr. Fillmore Hughes. Disrespect at town meeting. Please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Fillmore Hughes. Address is 5730 Ivanhoe Court. I have a beautiful wife that believed in North Carolina, believed in Spring Lake. I wanted to do something for Spring Lake. So, I'm from New York, so I don't want to leave New York, so I begged her not to go. But she wanted to do so I put my political career on hold and made some sacrifices so she can run her own business. And, I just manage it on the side. I went to the first Friday on May. It was a nice event. I got to speak to you. I want to give my respects to the Spring Lake Police Department. They gave me the ins and outs and they showed me some respect. But one thing I didn't like is, my wife was told that she's not doing enough for her business and that she would need to promote it more. And the second thing is, I was told by an alderwoman that I didn't show up to a meeting And when she was corrected, she said that I showed up briefly. And I don't like to be lied to, because the same meeting I showed up to, she wasn't there. I had to be conferenced in via phone call. I also showed up to the veterans meeting the next day, so this is actually my second meeting. I came here to give my support because I'm training to become Capitol Police, so I really don't want to be here. But I would love to give some bipartisan support and leadership for free. I've offered my service on numerous occasions, but if I'm not needed, I would appreciate if I'm left alone. That's all I have to say.
Thank you so much for your comment.
No worries, no worries.
All right, we will now move on to Ms. Johnson. Spring Lake concerns, please. First, podium and state your name and address for the record. Hey, Crystal.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, I'd like to say that you are elected officials. You choose to do that. So I don't like to hear in the community of what's going on, how much you get paid. You had 2 years to think about it. You know how much you get paid as far as that is concerned. You are elected. I want to make sure I say that. You are elected official. You choose to do that. Secondly, I want to know the coalition between the mural and Spring Lake. I don't think any citizens really expressed that they wanted a mural in Spring Lake. I don't think it was a desire need. It was a great idea. I thank you for the enhancement, but I want to know the coalition between the town of Spring Lake, what their responsibilities are, and what the grant responsibilities are, and how much are we contributing to the mural, because I believe all the money is not there yet. I'm not sure, because I believe town officials need to be working on town time. But if there's another way that you can explain to me why they were painting, then I will accept it. So I'm just asking, what's the difference? What's the grant gonna do? And what the town of Spring Lake is supposed to be responsible for. The way it was presented, it was a grant, something's supposed to be done. It's gonna enhance Spring Lake, but I would just like to know that, okay? Also, the trees that's gone in Veterans Park, I wanna know what's going on in that area. I see the trees are down. Just wanna know what's happening, in that area. I wanna thank you for your time, and hopefully I'll get some answers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to Mr. Fitch, an upcoming event. Please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Daniel Fitch Sr. I live at 735 Weekend Drive, right over here in Cake. I don't know where that. I want to say hello to each and every one of you guys up there, especially Mr. Williams. This coming weekend, we got our boxing event at True Vine Ministry, 5315 Morgan Road. I say again, 5315 Morgan Road. Doors open at 1400, and doors open at 2. Starts at 3. Mr. Williams and myself already made a plan, made an appointment to sit down and talk about having our next show in May here in Spring Lake, if we can come to some kind of agreement. Ain't gonna make no sense, promises. Because they both right. We do need an outlet for the youth. Now, I don't know if you know or not, we took a turning barn trip to D.C. and to Fairwind, and then we fed some people last year. But we can't do anything. I can't do anything until I talk to him. And I just want you guys to know that. I want to invite all you guys to come out, and I'm going to be looking for you. I might forget a lot of faces, but I ain't going to forget yours.
Mr. Fitch, what was the date on that?
The date is October 14th, coming Saturday. What time? 2 p.m. 2 p.m.
Okay. Thank you. We will now move on to Ms. Sanford. Trash, streets, homes. Please approach the podium and again, please state your name and address for the record.
What's my name?
Ms. Sanford.
Thank you. 104 Wapiti Drive,
Thank
right
you.
here in Spring Lake.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, y'all up for re-election and election? Okay. All right. The trash, I got a problem with that. People drive down the road, they don't have any covering over their trash, and it falls all across the street. Now the men come along and pick up all that trash. They did it last week. They picked up all the trash. There was no trash on the side of the road. We need an ordinance or something for people that drive trucks and don't have anything over the truck, and that trash just comes out on the street. Sometimes it be nails in wood, and that can mess your tires up if you hit it. So we need to think about that, okay? The other thing is, when these youth go off to Fayetteville, and they do things in Fayetteville, they have all these different little things to do in Fayetteville, but we don't have nothing over here. I'm 78, and I really don't like driving all the way to Fayetteville and Hope Mills and all them places to take my great-granddaughter. So we need to think about getting something here, so I don't have to be driving that far. And I know I'm not the only one in this age bracket and got grands and great-grands. So we need to think about those things. You know, we need a movie theater. You know, we need a nice place where the kids can do things. YMCA, why go to Camera? We can get one right here. We got all these other things coming up, but we don't have anything for the children, and that's awful. Now, you're coming up for re-election, I want you to do something. I want to see something, and I mean it. I want to see it. Y'all understand what I'm saying? All right. The trucks, you get orders for that. Get something done about that. You understand me? All right. And that's about it. I'm going to let y'all slide today.
Thank you, Ms. Sanford.
You're welcome.
We appreciate all of our citizens taking time out to talk to us. I know sometimes it can be a little intimidating. We put you on a timer and you hear me pushing the buttons to make sure that we allot everyone the same amount of time, but this is an important segment in our agenda. It's making sure that we offer you the opportunity, even though it may be kind of small, but we want to make sure we always, give you the opportunity to voice your opinions, concerns, praises, criticisms, because it's super important. All right, we will now move on to our presentations, and our first one will be for me. It is Fire Prevention Week, and I would like our interim town manager / fire chief, if that's okay, to tell us a bit about Fire Prevention Week before I read this proclamation from the town.
Hey, it would be better if we get the captain of the shift on duty today to come up and do that. Give him a little bit of love so they don't take away.
I love it. Awesome.
Fire Prevention Week.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Captain Hoffmaster.
Thank you for coming up on such short notice.
Of course. So Fire Prevention Week, yes. So we, a couple of different shifts with the department. I've actually done like a couple 1 to 2 minute videos kind of put out on our social media. So that'll be pretty interesting to see. And then obviously we hold just our typical events and with Sparky and the schools and whatnot. And then also in correlation with Safe Kids. And so that's a big advocate for us. And we also support them with being the parent company, or parent organization of Cumberland County. So I think that's about it. On the spot, but yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So,
But but the town, it's very important because we've been such a big advocate for, fire prevention week.
I'm sorry, can we save that conversation for later, please? Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had a question for you.
Okay.
That's about fire too.
That's fine, yeah, we'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but we've been such a big, we always push it. We've done a lot of smoke alarm canvassing, we've done things like that, so we think it's so important to, push fire safety instead of it gets to the point where people lose everything they have. So it's always good for these guys to go out, be in the community, do what they can to, talk to people like that and just make them feel, wanted, and we're here to help. So it's always a good thing for them.
Absolutely. So a bit of history. Fire Prevention Week was started by the National Fire Protection Agency in 1922 to commemorate the Great Fire of Chicago in 1871. Fire Prevention Week teaches children and adults how to stay safe in the event of fire. And so on behalf of the town of Spring Lake, I'd like to read our Fire Prevention Week proclamation. Whereas the town of Spring Lake is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all of those living and visiting in the town of Spring Lake, and whereas Fire Prevention Week is the longest running public health and safety observance on record and is held annually in the week of October 9th, which falls. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, homes being where people are at the greatest risk of fires, and smoke detectors should be installed in all required locations, and whereas it is important to have a home fire escape plan that prepares your family to think fast, get out quickly, and have a meeting place outside where everyone in the home will meet upon exiting. And whereas according to the National Fire Protection Association, cooking is the leading cause of house fires, with 49% of all home fires involving cooking equipment. And whereas cooking is also the leading cause of home fires, stop smiling. I'll tell you afterwards. Whereas cooking is also the leading cause of home fires and injuries and related deaths, and cooking was the only major cause of fire that resulted in more fires and fire deaths. Now therefore, I, Kia Anthony, and the Spring Lake Board of Aldermen do hereby proclaim October 8th through the 14th as 2023 Fire Prevention Week throughout the community. We urge all citizens of the town of Spring Lake to heed fire prevention and safety messages all year long. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause this seal of the town of Spring Lake to be affixed this 9th day of October, 2023. So funny story in fire prevention, and I'm looking back there at Sergeant Patterson smiling at me because they had to come to my home for a slight mishap. My food was perfectly cooked. However, the cheese from the macaroni, it dripped into the bottom of the stove, and the smoke was a bit crazy, and I thought I shut the smoke alarm off, and I didn't realize I didn't shut it off properly until fire arrived at my house, and this was almost a year ago now, and they will not let me live it down. So happy Fire Prevention Week. Don't let the cheese drip off your macaroni and cheese. Cooking is one of the leading causes of house fires, and I will absolutely make sure that I adhere to proper precautions from now on. They keep joking on me every chance they get. Okay, let's carry on. So we are now move on to our next presentation, our Community Appearance and Sustainability Committee Yard of the Month, October 2023. Alderman Palacios.
All right, thank you, Mayor. So every month we recognize our neighbors, our citizens here in Spring Lake who maintain and upkeep their property in a way that beautifies the overall appearance of the town. And so we want to honor those award winners for the month of October. So on Hedgemore, we have Kevin Ashby. On Main Street, Lynn and Sean Allison. On 4th Street, Deborah and Amanda Flowers. And then on Cecil, Teresa Moore. So let's give it up for our neighbors. Thank you, Mayor.
That's awesome.
And I'm sorry, I'm guessing none of you are here today, right? Okay, we'll get these certificates to them.
Absolutely. That is always a fun time. All right, new business. We will now ask for, agenda item 8A, Special Events Advisory Committee Bylaws Amendment by Ms. Patricia Hickman. Please approach the podium. You don't have to state your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Board of Aldermen. The Special Event Advisory Committee met on September 28th to vote unanimously to amend the bylaws to reflect the staff liaison from the Fayetteville Cumberland Parks and Rec, and it will be Mr. Lewis. We did make confirmation of Mr. Lewis, but we need your approval to amend these bylaws to allow that non-voting member to be part of this committee.
So I do want to add that we've been very explicit about making sure that Mr. Lewis is a non-voting member, because he's just a part of staff for the Recreation Center. He reports up for approval through his proper channels. And so he'll just be, he'll be opening the lines of communication there. That way we'll know what's happening at the rec center. The rec center will know what's happening at the town. And whenever the town needs the rec center, there's a clear avenue of communication between the town and the rec center. So I'll now entertain a motion for approval. Alderwoman Cooper?
Well, this is the motion, this is a question. Are we gonna get updated calendars so we know what's going on? You know, cause that's.
That was the whole point of making sure we put him directly in the mix of everything that's happening in the town, and that way the town knows exactly what's happening at the rec center. There's been a breakdown in communications, so we want to make sure we bridge that gap, and that's the whole point of bringing Mr. Lewis on board. And this will also make sure that anything that's happening in the town now goes on the county calendar, so it'll be broadcast to all of the county, through their rec center, through their web pages, through all of their media channels. Spring Lake will now have an active presence there. Alderman Palacios?
Whenever events come before the special event committee, is there a way to designate someone to make sure that that ends up on the manager's report? So we can get those updates. Is that gonna be you, Lynn? Okay. So if you can include that, I think that you somewhat do that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But
so-
some of the ones that we don't have, that's 75 and below, we won't never see. But I will, include those on the manager report.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Alderman Palacios?
Make a motion, we approve the special events advisory committee bylaws amendment.
Alderwoman Thompson?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing no opposition, the motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much, Ms. Hickman. Again, I ask that we turn off all cell phones. All right, we will now move on to agenda item 8B, our Halloween and trick-or-treat hours by Chief Spellman.
Good evening, Mayor and board members. As you know, in the next 3 weeks, we have Halloween. So the police department is recommending Halloween hours from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 31st. This time is consistent with hours that set for other municipalities in Cumberland County as well. And during that time, Spring Lake Police Department will have adequate coverage and to ensure that, criminal intent is nowhere near on a good night for trick-or-treating.
Awesome, thank you. I'll now entertain a motion to approve our Halloween and trick-or-treat hours. Alderwoman Cooper?
So moved.
Alderman Lackman?
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I think that was unanimous. Thank you, motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much, Chief. All right, now we'll move on to agenda item 8C, our Veterans Park update. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that the money that we are using to do the renovations at Veterans Park was allocated in 2021. However, the LGC did not allow us to touch these funds until we fixed the finances, the chaos that we were in beforehand. So this is a true testament to forward movement, because now we're actually we are able to use these funds to better the appearance and the usability of our parks here in Spring Lake. So I'd like to invite Mr. Steve Wing and Ms. Patricia Hickman back to the podium to discuss our Veterans Park.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Board of Aldermen. How y'all doing tonight?
Good evening.
I'm here to talk to y'all about Veterans Park and give y'all an update. I know that when you ride by it, it's a shock because it's been like that way for 30+ years, I've been told. I know you all have some money for restoration and trying to upgrade the park. First of all, I'd like to say that all the trees were taken down by town employees. We didn't hire any outside companies. All the grinding of the stumps, it didn't cost us a dime. We had the Fayetteville Parks and Cumberland County Recreation Department come and do it for us, free of charge. So all that was taken care of in-house. Didn't cost anybody a dime other than our regular hourly salary. Awesome. Any questions y'all have about the park as far as the trees? The trees were in bad shape. They might not have looked at it, but if you got up close to them, they had root girdling due to a massive amount of erosion over the years. The roots were exposed. Nothing was gonna grow there. It was hard pan. And when you say hard pan, it was just hard clay. You could not grow any grass. We've tried to grow grass in the past 10 or 12 years ago. It won't take hold. To design an irrigation to try to do that would have been astronomical, because you would have had to have so many heads to get all the grass that was needed to be watered. It would have been cost feasible for you. So sometimes you got to deconstruct in order to reconstruct.
You better say that again.
And I know it looks rough up there now, but if you give us a few weeks or however long it takes to get the quotes in, which we do have quotes in, we don't have the 3 each. We've called a lot of companies. Some of the companies just has not come out, have not given us the quotes back. But if you give us a couple weeks, it's gonna look good. It will look good, and it will give you room for future growth in there. You could set stones up at the other end of Festival Park for something that World War I, World War II. It could be something totally different than what's up at the top of Veterans Park. You can split the park in half and do anything you want with it at the bottom half. It's a prime piece of property on the corner right there. It's the gateway to Town Hall. So your options are gonna be whatever your dreams want it to be. So if you can just work with us or work with me for a couple more weeks, we'll make it right. You will get a before and you will get an after picture of it. But if you have any questions, I'll answer them the best that I can.
Now, just so we're clear, because we've heard, I know all of the board members have heard several things about the trees being taken down.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make sure we reiterate that these trees had become a hazard.
Yes.
And so we're being preventative or proactive by taking these trees down. We know Spring Lake has a track record of being in the midst of the storms.
Yes.
And what we don't want to happen is strong winds knocking those trees down and there's someone out there, or, there's just more damage.
Yes.
So I am very appreciative that you guys are paying attention to detail and noticing, because from afar, you couldn't tell that those trees were rotted the way they were. And to the naked eye, a novice or an amateur, that's not my level of expertise, I would have known nothing. So I applaud you guys for, noticing that and then taking the initiative, free of charge to the town, to take those trees down. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Alderman Lackman?
So Steve, on those trees, there's 17 of them that were taken down, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so an arborist came in to look at the trees and identified those 17 as being diseased, infested with what?
I didn't have an arborist come in specifically to look at the trees.
Okay.
We do have, the arborist that came from the city of Fayetteville that came and ground the stumps, he knew the history of the trees.
Okay.
But you couldn't see the disease underneath the bark. It was the dreaded southern pine beetle that eats the bark. It's right underneath the bark in the tree. It eats the cellulose of the tree. When it starts eating it, it kills the tree from the inside out.
So, like
Yeah,
the
and then
farm up there.
you can see the roots over the years, the heavy rains and all that have just exposed the roots, and the roots were diseased, they were rotten. And they were just a hazard. They were just a hazard. So I took it upon myself. Now, the arborist did look at them, and he says, they're junk. They weren't even really logging material at that point in time. They weren't. It could have been used as pulpwood, but pulpwood's not going for much of anything as of right now. But in order to design what you all wanted, we had no choice but to take down maybe a few more than what we should have, but you had to design the irrigation to make it work. If we would have had to go in there and leave some of them trees, we would have had an excavator go in there, and he would have had to dig trenches through all them trees. He was gonna destroy the root system anyways, what was left of them. So then we would have had a catastrophe after you put all the grass down and put all the irrigation down. We would have had to hire probably a professional company to take them down one by one, limb by limb, and then it would have got expensive. At least we were able to drop them on the ground, no damage, because there was nothing growing out there anyways. It was just barren wasteland. That was the only way we were gonna be able to get this site to hold grass, because grass needs 6 to 8 hours to grow. No grass was gonna grow in them pine trees. Nothing's grown there for the last 14 years. So we just decided to do what we did, but it will look good, and it will look good in a couple of weeks, I promise you.
Okay, so at this point, it was really just taking the trees out, getting the stumps ground for
Yes,
free.
yes.
And to be able to reset the earth, to put in some sod, some irrigation, and then we're gonna open it up to the citizens for comments and just because.
And Ms. Lynn's gonna touch on that a bit more.
All right.
Alderman Cooper?
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say thank you for this information, because I know very little about trees and plants, but, you know, knowing that the roots being exposed is, can be a danger.
Yes.
That, I'm sure that's gonna be information a lot of our citizens even can use, you know, for future information. So thank you all for seeing, the possible issue and taking care of it.
And on the root situation that you just brought up, and I'm glad you brought that up, the roots were sticking so far out of the ground in some places, we couldn't mow it with a lawnmower, we couldn't mow it with a tractor. We had to do everything. What was growing out there was junk. It was just weeds. So we would have to weed eat everything in them trees. It was unable to be mowed because the roots were just so bad. It's been like that, like I said, it's been like that ever since I come to work here 14 years ago.
Wow.
So it needed an upgrade.
Absolutely, thank you for doing it.
Thanks, Steve.
And just one other thing, the electrical up there, the lights that light up the memorial, they have not been working probably in 10 years. We do have a contractor coming and give us a price quote. He's gonna change all the unantiquated lights over to LED. So it's gonna give it a softer look, it will give it a nicer look at night, and finally they'll be working for the first time in a long, long time.
Thank you.
Awesome, that's really good to hear. Ms. Hickman, good job.
So back to this is just a preliminary, this is all this is. I mean, the greenery, of course, is the grass, the sod that will be going down, and the irrigation, plus it'll stop the erosion. There's a lot of erosion up there, you can see. So we did reach out to some landscaping companies, so we're looking at a ballpark area, about 45 and 15 for the electrical, so that stands with 35. And I asked the board if y'all could do a public forum at the upcoming meeting from feedback from the citizens to see what we could do to allocate the other funds for this project. I mean, we put examples in there of park benches, of course, a trash can, gazebo. I mean, we don't have the funds for a future monument, but, you know, later down the road, if anybody wanted to truly, you know, give one to the town. But, and as, you know, as well as time goes on, we can actually probably fund it ourselves with our wonderful, you know, funds. So, but that's something to look at, but, you know, if y'all can decide on which, you know, board meeting y'all would like to do a public forum to get feedback from your wonderful citizens of the town, just to allocate the other $35,000.
Awesome. So just so we are 100% clear, you're letting the community know this is just a mock-up, this is potential, this is what it could be. Cause that future dog park is looking really good. I got a big dog at home, and I would love to go out there and, you know, run around and socialize with other little pups. But this, I think it's a beautiful mock-up, but again, we want to hear from the citizens. So if you guys have some ideas of what can go in that little grassy knoll, that's always, it's so well maintained. I love driving by, especially when it's freshly mowed. And I can just imagine a dog park up there. But we want to hear from the citizens, because the more ideas we field from you all, the better we can make this park. So we'll get with the clerk to check the calendar and the agenda to see when's the best time to do a public forum, so that we can hear your ideas. Help us beautify Veterans Park, because I think it's going to be amazing. Like Steve said, this is the gateway to our town hall, and we want people to come in and be wild, blown away. Alderman Palacios.
All right, so the town funds that we currently have for this from the state budget,
100,000.
100 and how much? Is 114, right? Okay, 114,000. So I'm guessing that's going to be the primary source of the funds when we're talking about the estimates and everything. And then I know that we have been working with the Veterans Committee on this project already, and getting ideas, fielding ideas from them. So as we continue to learn more from them, I think it'd be a good idea to have them as kind of like the forefront, the go-to people when it comes to this, much like the Appearance Committee kind of spearheaded the mural for the town. So I'd like that to be an important piece of this. And then I did want to thank Steve and your department and your crew, because since you've taken control over that department, I don't know your specific title or anything, but I'm going to say control of the department. There's been a big change to how the town even appears, okay? And when you're driving by at rush hour or even in the middle of the day, and you have town employees that are cleaning up the town, that are walking around, that are doing their part, you know, it makes a big difference. You know, it really, honestly, the pride rises up, right, when you see the town staff taking it so seriously. So I appreciate you, and, you know, we have citizens who volunteer their time to help clean up the town, and to see they're doing that in collaboration with the town staff is a big deal. So I just want to say thank you for that. It is noticed, all right?
I appreciate that, sir, and like I said, it's my guys that do all the work. I mean, it really is, it's the guys. I mean, so I appreciate that, though.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to allow our staff to continue to work on this project. Do we need a motion for this?
Yeah.
We just need a consensus for this one.
Yeah, consensus to keep with only the irrigation and then the sod. I mean, that's the biggest thing that what the funds are for in the electric. Because they're going to replace the 100-amp panel with the branch circuits up there too to fix the lights.
Are we in agreement? Is there a
It's
consensus?
just a consensus to allocate funds for those two, electrician and a landscaping company.
General consensus is approved. Awesome. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Appreciate it.
I cannot wait to see this come to fruition.
And one more thing,
Yes.
I really would like to thank Cumberland County, Fayetteville. They helped us out a great deal. They saved a lot of money by grinding them stumps for us. So I'd like to thank Mike Gibson, and James Powell and the arborist John Adams, because they came out here and they allowed John Adams to do it, so they saved us a lot of money.
Awesome, well, thank you, Cumberland County.
Yeah, keep that connection strong.
Can we send them a thank you letter? Yes. Thank you. All right, we will move on to agenda item 8D, our Christmas tree lighting. So, I will pass this off to our town manager, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, we're going to try to do a little thing for the citizens like we've been done for the last little while. It's a Christmas tree lighting. We've done it the last couple of years. It's been a little bit different. Where we bring people in and hang out so we would like it to kick it off this year on the 1st. I think it's a Friday, December 1st. We would like it to kick off there like we usually do with the normal. We'll put an agenda out for it, but I would just like to get the census that's okay to do that on the 1st. And we'll be out here in the field like we've had the last couple of years.
Awesome. I don't know if you've all been to our Christmas tree ceremonies for these past few years. They have been phenomenal, and it has been the departments coming together to show so much love and support, and we even have the Grinch come out. It is, you guys, it is an experience. I mean, I absolutely love, and this year Alderman Palacios is gonna lead us in our caroling.
The way you just look at you.
I think he did that.
I'll go ahead and take a general
I can
consensus.
sing now, I don't think you're prepared.
I'll take a general consensus to allow staff to go ahead and prepare for our Christmas
Move
tree
on,
lighting.
do it. Thank you for bringing that, making it happen.
Absolutely.
Great.
All right, so we are, December 1st will be our Christmas tree lighting. Mark your calendars, 6 p.m.
It will be 6 p.m. Yeah.
So mark your calendars, December 1st, 6 p.m.
Don't
We
tell
will-
them what's going to happen.
Be prepared to be surprised. Awesome. Amazed. All right, we will continue on with our updates. So I have a few, not a whole lot, but a few. A few weeks ago, myself and Alderman Lackman had an opportunity to attend the Military Defense Summit in Raleigh. It was extremely informative, being that we are a military community. We got to learn about purposeful partnerships with the military community. We received a legislative update in direct regards to the defense budget and pay raises that are happening on Fort Bragg. We also had a chance to look at some opportunity for our military spouses and family members, which is a huge part of our community. And so we want to make sure that we are providing every possible opportunity, not just for regular community members, but for our military servicemen and women and their families as well. So this was extremely important to find out this information. We were able to make some very, very meaningful connections that you'll see even more through our Military and Veterans Advisory Committee. So this was a phenomenal time with learning that doesn't come around very often. Again, we are a military community, and so we want to make sure that we are paying special attention to that. The Pink Diamonds Cancer Walk happened, and that was wildly successful. I learned that I need to walk more. And I want to thank Chief Chief Williams, Mr. Williams, so he's up here, for picking me up, because I was no, but it was a very, very successful event to see the community come out in support of breast cancer awareness. October is the month of breast cancer awareness. We do have a breast cancer survivor right here on our board. All of our board members came out in support. And it was you too? Well, blessings to you. We have two of them right here in our midst right now. So we see the importance of having things like this right in our community. So thanks to Pink Diamonds for hosting that here, and they're already looking to host it again in Spring Lake next year. So that's huge. We also had a chance to support our Sand Hills Family Heritage Association Several of our board members were able to go out to their Rural Heritage Food Celebration where they stuffed us to absolute capacity with food, cultural-based food, and we were able to read a proclamation in honor of what they have done for our community. First Friday on Main also happened this past weekend, which was again wildly successful. I'll pass that to you to talk more about since she is actually on the board of the chamber that partnered with us to host this amazing event. I do want to mention, and this is of high importance, our clerk will be unavailable due to schooling on 10/10, October 10th and October 16th through the 20th. She is
Starting the 16th.
16th. I got 10/10. You got finance.
Yes.
And then 10/16 through 10/20, she will be completing her clerk school and she will be graduating. And so that is a major accomplishment. I would like to give her a round of applause. So just know if you call and you need something, it may take a little bit longer because she will be tending to much needed town business. So thank you for that. Again, lunch with the mayor will be on the 25th of this month, and the location will be to be determined. We'll let you guys know what that location is going to be soon. But I also wanted to give you just a short update on voter registration. We had some new laws come out, and I want to make sure that we are very, very well aware of what's happening. We do now have voter ID laws, and so I want to make sure that you are aware of our voter ID laws that are now enacted in the state of North Carolina. So voters will be asked to present an ID when they are voting. Voters must show some sort of well, she might have a quick sheet, a checklist. And these are available right now. We do have these, but are they at the front or are they on that desk right there?
I believe they're over here.
Right here. So they're on that side table. Acceptable forms of ID. If you do not have an ID, there's a no-fee ID card that you can get from the Department of Motor Vehicles. So make sure that you check into that. Also, you will be allowed to vote if you do not present an ID. However, you'll receive a provisional ballot that will have to be turned into the Board of Elections. So I just want to make sure that we are all aware of voter ID laws before we are ready to vote. One stop or early voting starts on October 19th and it'll continue until 3 p.m. on November 4th. And election day is November 7th. And elections will be held, of course, right across the street at our municipal building. So I just want to make sure that you are aware of all this. Alderwoman Cooper made sure that she got some material for us so you can take this with you. That way you are very aware of the new laws that are in place and how to navigate them. So that is all I have. I will move on to Alderman Palacios.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
You are welcome.
The Appearance Committee is going to be meeting this Wednesday at 4 o'clock across the street at the Rec Center. That's 4 o'clock at the Rec Center. And this week, we have our mural being painted. That's going to be starting on the 12th. And so we have the artists coming in, of course, to take care of that. There was a change to the date, but it is going to be this week. And any volunteers that had signed up to be doing it the 11th, I believe, they were notified, they were changed, so we've got that done. And then to answer Ms. Crystal's question from earlier, she asked about the funding. So we have $8,000 that was granted to the town from the Arts Council of Fayetteville, and the rest of that, which came out to, I believe, don't quote me, but $5,540. I'm pretty confident that's the right number, but that's from the town. And we are, as previously discussed, we are going to be raising funds for this project and future projects. So the 100% of the amount for that mural that's going up and going to be painted, that we'll all get to enjoy, is covered. and we couldn't move forward with any contract until we had the funding in place. So that's kind of why it took so long to get the contract done. But that's a big development. I'm happy about it. And we got the appearance committee, who are made up of citizen volunteers and local business owners, to have their say in that. Of course, it had been presented to the town several times as well. So I hope this isn't a surprise to anybody, but it'll be a surprise if you don't know about it when we start seeing that paint being done. But we also thank the town staff who primed and prepped the wall. See, the town was given an easement from the Beatitude Thrift Store House, which is on the corner of Main Street and Spring Avenue, which is 102 Main Street. And when we were given that easement, we were able to use town staff, kind of leverage some of the funds that way to get that wall primed. So it does look bright and beautiful right now for a couple days, and then a beautiful mural is going to be going up. And the mural, for those that don't know, is on the outside of this door above the double doors. You can see a preview of what that's going to look like. And after that is done, though, on November 10th, for our Veterans Day ceremony, we're going to have a ceremony for Veterans Day / unveiling. And this is pretty exciting because the appearance committee, who has been working so hard on this, and the Veteran Affairs Committee is going to be doing a hybrid event for that. So at 11 o'clock on November 10th, come on out. Everyone's invited. We got some big wigs coming also, by the way. So we're pretty excited about that. And we have a wonderful speaker coming, affiliated directly with the military, of course. And some other people I think you'll be surprised to see, but we're happy about it. And as well as the artist himself, we want to recognize him. So we're going to kick it off with a color guard. We're going to have a wonderful speaker. Dr. Dickerhoff, who is part of the appearance committee, is going to make a little speech, kind of about the history and the background of why we're doing that mural and why that specific art was selected as the winner for that wall, and to promote our patriotism, of course, and our military heritage here in Spring Lake to Fort Bragg, Liberty. So, and then anything else? Oh, yes, a big part of the unveiling is because we're saying unveiling now, it is going to be covered up, but it's only going to be covered up that day. We have some parachutes that were donated for this specific event, and we're excited about that, so it's going to be a big deal. For parking, we've got the First Baptist Church. We're going to be coming back to the board for closing Spring Avenue from Main Street to, I believe it's First Street, and then park anywhere else. I mean, come on. But the other thing is, I did want to highlight First Friday on Main, and I wasn't able to make the September one, but I'm going to tell you, that was a really cool event. And so I appreciate all the vendors who came out, the chamber who kind of organized that, the police department who had a great presence out there, even though they had distractions, because I believe I heard there was a stolen vehicle that crashed into the gate at Mendoza Park. So we thank the police department for being there. The fire department, who had a great presence there. I mean, everybody came together. And I will say that Main Street was cleaned up that next morning. You couldn't tell that anything happened other than the porta-johns out there.
It was clean at night.
That night, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, I didn't see it till the next day, but it was cleaned up.
Yeah.
And so we also recognize and thank the town staff and everybody responsible, I should say, for that.
And the citizens, because there was
This is my
minimal
time, Mayor. I'm
trash.
gonna reclaim my time.
What am I gonna do with these folks?
So I think that's it for now. You can have your time back, I guess. All that for nothing.
Yeah, so, again, testament to the citizens, they kept it clean out there, so good job, you guys. Alderwoman Thompson.
So I have on, October 26th at 6 p.m. over at the Spring Lake Rec Center located at 245 Reed Street. The police department will hold a neighborhood community watch meeting. And what it does, the neighborhood watch program enlists the active participation of residents and businesses in cooperation with the Spring Lake Police Department to reduce crime in their community. So come out and join and learn what you can do in your community. And also on Saturday, October 14th, they do have a breast cancer event over at the rec center. Again, that's 245 Roof Street. And that is sponsored by the OES PHA District 15, the Guiding Light, number 18. And that's all oh, one more thing. We did attend we went to the School of Government, the class, and we had a UAL class, and all of us, with one exception of one of the board members attended, and we had a great time. Got some good learning, and that's all I have.
Thank you for that, because I completely forgot to mention that. I had to go back to my updates, like, how did I miss that one? Awesome, so, Alderman Lackner? Oh, wait, one more. You usually do cops and conversation.
Oh, I forgot.
Community watch is going.
Yeah, the community watch is
Community
on.
watch.
Okay.
Awesome. And is that the same date, the 27th? 26th?
26.
Okay.
Community watch.
Okay, thank you. Alderman Lackner?
Guess I got a call.
Prayers for our heroes going out to keep our community safe. Alderman Lackner?
Mayor, they walked out and that was part of my
It was.
my spiel here. So, Carly, why don't you go ahead and pull up, the two police officers and, that one right there. Hey, everybody, take a look up there, because it's gonna take me a little while to read this, but, the Greater Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce, the Valor Awards were recent. We wanted to recognize these individuals. Sergeant Taylor and Officer Passmore on April 21st, 2023, Sergeant Taylor and Officer Passmore were dispatched on a wellness check. Upon approval, they spoke with the neighbor who stated that he had not seen or heard the residents in a few days and was informed that the resident was discharged from Whispering Pines Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. The officers tried to contact the resident, but they were unsuccessful. The officers reached out to Whispering Pines and were informed that the resident had previously been seen at Cape Fear Valley Medical Center for further evaluation. The decision was made to enter the home through a sliding door. The resident was found in a chair, motionless, but was breathing and in the midst of severe medical episode. The resident was taken to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center for the medical attention needed. Staff from Cape Fear Valley Medical Center relayed that had the officers not entered into the residence when they did, this situation would have had a different outcome. So when we talk about our police, our first responders, they're in the business of saving lives. So you can see up there the Valor Awards that were presented. But now I'm going to talk about the one that doesn't like the attention shined on him, Fire Chief Jason Williams. As the fire chief, Jason Williams already had significant amount of responsibility in the Spring Lake community. On October 2022, he was appointed the interim town manager and had balanced both positions seamlessly, even receiving praise from the North Carolina Local Government Commission. It was under his purview that the town of Spring Lake built a second fire station and acquired 2 additional fire trucks. This helped response time from 9 minutes to under 3 minutes. Folks, that's life-saving right there when you look at that time difference. His forethought allowed Spring Lake to upgrade necessary first responder capability while ensuring that the cost to the town residents. Chief Williams' leadership and forethought ensured first responder safety and helped solidify the financial health of the town of Spring Lake. Please give a round of applause for these 3.
Can I add something to that?
Sure.
So, again, he doesn't like the recognition, but we're gonna give it to him anyway. No time to reclaim Roland.
Yeah, you asked me.
However, this award that Mr. Williams received is a county-wide award. This came from people across Cumberland County seeing the value that he's added to our town, not just in safety, but in management as well. We didn't pick this. The county chose you, Mr. Williams. And so we want to thank you because not only do we see you, they see you too. You have been an amazing asset to this community as the fire chief and now as the manager. We wouldn't be where we are without you. So again, thank you so much. Can we give him another round of applause?
Details?
Yeah, so since we're on this, I want to go ahead and say also, the state treasurer made his way down to Spring Lake the other day,
Do you
right?
have that? Can you cue that up?
He did. It's okay. It's okay, you're unprepared, but
He's on a roll tonight.
no, I didn't mean that as a joke or something either. What I meant was, anyway, I just wanted to thank you, and recognize that as well. This isn't the first time that the state treasurer, who this board had issues with, direct issues with, and had road bumps and hiccups with state treasurer in his office. This isn't a secret, okay? This is it's public information. However, since then, there has been a significant change with how the state treasurer deals with Spring Lake. And when he makes personal calls to our chief and makes special visits to our town to just praise the amount of effort and progress that has been done, I did want to recognize that, because it may seem like a flippant thing that happens, but it's not. And it's not every day that a town gets taken over by the state. But to see the progress that has come about in the year that you've been appointed, has it been a year yet?
It's been a year
In a couple
and 10 days.
Yeah.
You know, and so you took this on, you didn't volunteer for this. You know, we asked you to step in and you knew there were necessary changes that need to be done because, you have your pulse on a lot of these things. And State Treasurer Dale Falwell, that's a picture you would not have gotten a year ago. And so Spring Lake has really turned into a success story for the state treasurer's office is what this is, but at your helm, and there's been a lot of stress that's been taken off of the elected leaders of this town because you've been able to step in and you've been able to capture vision, and allow this town staff to catch the vision as well. And I think that goes without saying. When I thanked Steve earlier and his department and the crew and all that have a part to play, you have a big part of that too. And so I want to recognize you and thank you also for your personal sacrifices that you've made. And you've made personal sacrifices, and hopefully though, this has been a learning experience for you. And I suspect that, there will be better things to come for you, whether it's here in Spring Lake still or somewhere else. There's no indication of that, of course, and we want to keep you here. Anyway, it's a big deal, and I'm sorry to surprise and cut into your time, but just wanted to recognize you and just say those words. Okay?
Absolutely. You deserve it.
So Mayor, I'm gonna take my time back
Yeah,
here.
go.
So, on cleanup, so for 2023, we've had 59 volunteers, we've collected over 3,800 pounds of trash. This is our past Saturday. If you remember, at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, we had nice rain out there. We had one individual that said, hey, it's a little bit too rainy for me, so we still had 9 people. And look at the amount of trash that was picked up in the street, in our town of Spring Lake. We had local business owners out there. We had aldermen and alderwomen. We had students. We had 2 students up there that needed volunteer hours. We had civic-minded residents that just wanted to make our town look better. You see, we got a flat screen TV, we got some big tires, we got lots of trash, we got, I don't know what that part is on the front. Santa Claus even came out there to join us. So, we had quite the turnout. So the rain didn't stop us. We've got out there. We've still got 2 more months of cleanup that we're going to be out there. The next one, Alderwoman Thompson is going to be hosting that while we host the transitioning into the Military and Veterans Affairs Committee. On November 4th, we're going to have a veteran service event. If you know any veteran that needs to get their VA claim looked at, November 4th, we are hosting a veteran service event from 9:30 until 4:30 over at the Recreation Center. I say again, if you know any veteran that needs assistance with this, have them work on getting their medical records, their supporting documents, their buddy statements, their DD 214, all of these things together so that when they sit down across the table with a veteran service officer, they are there to assist this veteran with their claim. We're also having Sand Hills Veteran Cemetery come over there. bring a copy of your DD 214 if you want to make your final arrangements, whether it's burial or cremation. You know, they will be there for that. And lastly, we will have a representative from the Veteran Treatment Court that Judge Oliveira is in charge of. This is one of those things where a veteran, if they get in a little bit of trouble, raise your hand. Say, instead of going through the civilian court, I would like to go through the military treatment court that they have. So this is an opportunity for those veterans. This is one of those things, Mary, that we learn from going to training. These are the things that we do, that we go there to better our town, to make it better for you. Mayor, I was going to talk about the North Carolina Defense Summit, but you spoke adequately on that, and good, and much better than I would. Carly, next slide, please. All right. We hear from you all the time in regards to the water bill being so high. There are things that you can do with Duke, and right here it's Save Water, DukeEnergy.com. You can receive a free kit. This kit includes a 1.5 gallon kitchen water cap with aerator, 2 3-feet hot water insulation wraps, 2 1 gallon per minute splash-free bathroom faucet caps with aerator, and a rubber jar opener. Who doesn't need a rubber jar opener nowadays? You can order, or you can upgrade this kit. You get an upgraded kit for $6.70, or you can get the jumbo package for $13.40. This is one per customer. So this is available on, I say it again, Save Water, DukeEnergy.com. So you can go on there and order yourself a kit. Moving on, the Parks and Rec update. The mayor spoke about this a while back, but from November 14th, 2022 to September 15th, 2023, the Fayetteville Cumberland County spent $67,174.75 on our Parks and Recreation. Again, I say that $67,174.75 came out of county funds, not out of town funds, to improve our parks and recreation. This included 9 of the 11 HVAC systems, repairing the roof. Anybody that's been over there the last few years, there's been more buckets and more trash cans over there collecting water in so long. So roofs have been repaired, plumbing, fixing the ice machine. The ice machine was broken for a couple of years, they said. And a lot of electrical work, some painting, some cleaning of the front with the pressure washer. Further updates include painting the walls, enhancing the security through $11,000 worth of investment in security cameras and IT updates, which have contributed to the overall health of our Parks and Rec. I say that, but I also say that there's more work that needs to be done. And one of my sayings that the mayor says is, see something, say something, do something. So if you see something out there, if you see things that need to be worked on, let us know. Carly would be glad to facilitate your phone calls. It's just another one of those jobs in regards to, you know, things that need to be done with our parks. So please, if you see something out there, say something so that we can facilitate this either through the mayor, through the town manager, to get our parks back where they should be. This takes all of us to do this. And I just have one last thing. Happy belated birthday, Lynn. That's it for me, Mayor.
Awesome. And I wanted to piggyback off of Alderman Thompson, just to let you know what happened at our finance training that we all were able to attend. Only one who could make it was Mayor Pro Tem Chadwick, because she's a school teacher, and this did happen during school hours. So we studied budgeting, we studied internal controls and management, we studied cash management, we went over pre-audits and disbursements, and we also went over auditing. These are all things that are a part of municipal government finance, and we want to make sure that we are being good stewards of our tax dollars, because sometimes residents forget that we pay the same taxes you pay. When our trash doesn't get picked, or your trash doesn't get picked up, our trash doesn't get picked up. And we're trying to get the same potholes paved in our neighborhoods that you're getting paved in your neighborhood. So we feel the exact same pains that you feel because we all live here, we all pay taxes. We want the same thing for our community, and so we're making sure that we are doing as much as we possibly can to make sure that we are being, you know, good stewards of your tax dollars. So that was it. Alderwoman Cooper?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to piggyback on the unit assistance list training, there was something, that we, have failed to do. There was back in, 2017, I believe, all municipalities or all units of government were supposed to, sign a resolution to be able to authorize an electronic transaction, meaning if, in order to use a credit card to make a purchase, once this went into effect, we had to sign a resolution stating that we authorize electronic transactions, meaning credit cards. The town of Spring Lake, from what we have seen, has never passed that resolution. So we are working on getting that passed, and we are out of compliance with that. And so we're gonna work on that. Hopefully that'll be at our next meeting. Okay, yes. So I also wanna speak to all the repairs that had to be done to the Parks and Rec. To have these many repairs done in that little bit of time means that we were not taking care of what we supposedly hold so dearly. It's our only recreation center, and we were not taking care of it, so we have to be better stewards of the properties that we own. We have to keep them up. We owe it to our citizens. So, this list is available for anyone, it's public information. We learned a lot at that, I wanna go back to the training, we learned a lot. I wanna mention Miss Susan McCullen, who retired from the LGC. She was there, she now with the Parks and Rec, I'm leaving municipalities. And she mentioned the funding that they were given by the state legislature to get, assistance, with accounting software and, cybersecurity. So if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Williams has been in contact with the North Carolina municipalities about that. And I think that can be a value of up to $350,000, which will be at no cost to the town. And we were really happy to see her. She felt like she never had such a warm welcome as a government accountant, but we appreciate the work that Ms. Susan McCullen has done for the town of Spring Lake. First Friday, thank you to all the staff and everyone. Ms. Lillian Anderson is back there, who worked tirelessly with First Friday. Our police, our fire, any other staff, the Greater Sand Hills Chamber. We had a good time. The band was awesome. I was tired, so we had been at Chapel Hill all day, and then we had to come back. I think I had 20 minutes to get dressed. And I had recently hurt my hand because I went to go pick up cases of candy for an event, my Halloween event, and failed. So it was interesting, but we still had a great time. The full board was in attendance supporting that, so thank you everyone for that. And lastly, I will be, oh no, I do want to address something. I was not able to be here at the last meeting. I attended a funeral of a close family member and got exposed to COVID. And I did not want to put any of my citizens at risk. But I understand, I couldn't really hear that well. We need to do something about the audio on Zoom. But there was a mention of me attending a conference and my behavior. Those conferences I attend, I don't pay for alcohol on town money. As a matter of fact, the conference in Nashville, I paid out of my pocket. The mayor paid out of her pocket. She was a presenter, and our interim town manager at the time, Mr. Joe Durham, was also a presenter, and that happened because I helped plan part of that conference. And again, we paid out of our pockets over $1,000. We did not put any of that expense on the town. And we brought back quite a few resources, including a direct contact with, the economic development up in Washington DC. And so those conferences are not in vain. We do bring resources back. I attend Small Cities Council, which is going to allow us to put a spotlight on the town of Spring Lake with some video. We'll be putting that out because people have ideas. They're gonna create about 4 small videos highlighting the town. And that opportunity will also allow us to highlight some of our businesses and nonprofit organizations on that same page. So representation does matter. People see you, and opportunities do come from that. I will be going to Durham on October 18th. I'm on the board of directors for North Carolina Black Elected Municipal Officials, which is an affiliate of the North Carolina League of Municipalities, and I'll be attending a board of directors meeting. That'll be at no cost to the town. I always say it, if I'm going somewhere and it's no cost to the town, I say it before I leave. When I come back, I say it as well. You can check the meeting videos, it's there. So that is all I have, and thank you everybody for coming.
Can I go back one more time? Can I take some more time? I just want to touch back on this again. It's not just the repairs that were made. It's now that our kids can participate in all Cumberland County sports. We couldn't at one time. They could play throughout the year, but they couldn't go to the championships because we were not a part of the Cumberland County tax district. So not only were they providing much needed financial resources and repairs for the community, but now our kids can participate in sports all across the county. This is an extreme cost savings for the town, but it's a benefit for all of us because now we can go play pickleball on one of the courts that were just created, or we can go and swim at the new pools in the other municipalities. So this is a huge win for our community, for our children. We now have access to all types of events that we were once not able to have here on site at our rec center. We still own the building. We still own everything inside of the building. This is more of a management contract. Cumberland County manages. Our employees received pay raises and better benefits because they are now employees of the county and not of the town. So just be aware that this was a win for us. It did not hurt the town in any capacity. It expanded our reach and the opportunities for our children, along with providing some, again, much needed updates. So, and repairs. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things. If you see maybe Tim and Steve out there in your front yard marking some things up, it's gonna be up there by the road. We have some internet coming in different areas. So they, the right of way, it's DOT's right of way, so they just wanna make sure that we're not hitting any of your lines, your water lines, sewage lines, whatever. We're gonna make sure we're not hitting those. So if you see them over there marking them, that's what they're doing, just so you don't hit them on that end of it. I know we've talked about before the lights down the Bryant Boulevard, the street lights. I got another thing on them the other day. That will be coming up. They should have went up when the bridge was made, but there was kind of miscommunication went on. I talked to them about this. We kind of found it back out. So they will be putting those up, but we have to redesign how they're gonna go on the bridge because they don't light up bridges. I'm gonna try to put them in the front and the back of it, so it kind of lights up the entrances of it. With the way lights are now, it should really light that up, and then all the way down the boulevard, all the way to Rose Street. So if anybody knows where Rose Street is, down there by Little Caesar's Pizza and all that, it's gonna be lighted up all the way down there. So it's really gonna light that up, making things a lot safer for our citizens. It's gonna be a good thing for them. The hardworking staff, the staff has been, I run this staff through the ringers. I really do. I mean, I can't. I mean, Steve and them, they know that police, I mean, First Friday, the painting, Pink Diamonds, I mean, it's everything. Anytime we have something going on, I make sure that we're 100% on this thing, and we do a great job for you guys. Because it's your neighborhood, it's your business. We wanna make sure that we're representing everything we should be representing for everything. So these guys have really been busting their tail, and I do appreciate the hard work that they do. Just like you mentioned a little while ago, they work extremely hard, and I do appreciate what they do. They never end, fire, police, I mean, everybody just does a thing about it. The crazy thing about it, the people you had up there, the 2 officers, for that award, the day after the award that they got that, we were called out to the same situation, and them 2 was the same one to notify us that there was somebody in a house that we had to get out. I mean, he'd been laying there for days, isn't that right? Days?
Oh, wow.
And the same 2 guys, I'm like, what are y'all doing? Are y'all beating up people leaving the house? But they did the same thing, so I mean, that's the kind of service we want out of our police officers, and they did another good job. I mean, they let us know, fire guys went in, got them out, took him to the hospital. I haven't heard how he is, but he was pretty beat up. But again, PD, man, I mean, that's hats off to you guys. I mean, we're not just blowing stuff off. We're serious about what we do. And these guys have really stepped up, and I do appreciate it. The last thing I'm gonna say is, I know a lot of people don't like me in this position, and I'm sorry that I'm in it. I was supposed to be in it for 2 weeks. Just remember this, 2 weeks. That's what they told me. They said, hey, just do it for 2 weeks, you'll be good to go. That was a year ago. But I really enjoyed working with this crew. This crew, it's hard to find somebody that loves the town more than this crew here. So that's the only reason I've stayed in as long as I have, because this crew does care about this town. And the team that we have, it's done a lot of good things for the town. You can see it. It's cleaner, it runs better, we've got money in the bank. It's just so many things that's happened because of the leadership that you guys have now. I wouldn't be in this position if I didn't have this group with me. So I just want to say, I know you're thanking me for stuff, but thank you guys for sticking with me. I mean, you ain't run me out of here yet, but it's just, I'm waiting on it, but it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, but I do appreciate it. I mean, I've learned a lot. I mean, you guys have sit down with me and really spent time with me and told me what I need to know, and me doing the same to you, and it's really, we've grown into a really good family, and I do appreciate what you guys done for me.
Aw, thanks. Mr. Porter?
Tom back, buddy.
No, I'll be brief. Y'all know I usually don't really say much, but kind of touching upon what Chief Williams said, and then the picture that was put up of the state treasurer, Dale Falwell, and the chief, that's kind of amazing to see. I think that should be framed up somewhere. Because if y'all remember, about a year ago, I was having to have some not so pleasant communications with the treasurer and his attorney. So it is really, really good to see that has now passed, and there's a good working relationship, and I'm sure that will continue. Also, to touch upon something Alderman Blackman said, the Veterans Treatment Court, just as a member of the Cumberland County Bar and North Carolina Bar, it's very underutilized, or I shouldn't say underutilized, not as well known as it should be. So I encourage people to become more educated about that. I've known Judge Oliveira for years. He heads that up right now. He's actually received national recognition. I want to say it was maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. I'm getting a little older now, so it feels like it's last five. He actually had to, it's basically a program that tries to keep you out of jail and get you the mental health and substance abuse help that you need. But he had to sentence or send a veteran to jail overnight because he broke his probation or something like that. And the guy was really not having a good time with it and was really going through a mental health crisis. And Judge Oliveira actually went and spent the night with him in jail. Yeah, and received national recognition for it because Lou Oliveira is a Gulf War veteran. So there's also, that goes along with the Veterans Treatment Court, Cumberland County also has a drug treatment court just in general. It's not specifically for veterans. I guess you could also do it if you were a veteran, but to break that cycle, and I'm sure the chief sees that all the time. He probably sees the same offenders repeatedly and they're just trying to break that cycle of, veterans with mental health issues and substance abuse issues, and then just people with, substance abuse issues. And Cumberland County is really on the forefront of that, statewide and nationally, by the way. So, anyways, a little plug and shout out for the Cumberland County Bar and the judiciary and the judicial staff that head that up, because it's a lot of work. And when you complete the program, by the way, it's not just a, if anybody's had I'm an attorney, so I take pleasure in going to court, but if you have the displeasure of going to court because you don't want to be there, you know, you usually don't really get a thank you for when you complete whatever you do. But when you complete one of these court programs, they actually hold a very sweet ceremony for you and make sure that they don't just forget about you, is what I'm saying. They give you a certificate, they honor you. And then one last thing, the drug treatment court was actually started by Judge Ed Pone, and I don't know if anybody don't remember Ed Pone. He's since retired, but between Ed Pone, who's retired, and Judge Lou Oliver, we've got some good judges. So, and as far as attorney stuff, nothing.
Awesome. Well, we do not have closed session tonight, so. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. Alderman Lockman.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn for the night.
Alderwoman Cooper.
Second.
Any discussion? Better not be any less. All in favor? Aye.